Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames on our new time of date. Oh, no. We're touching shoulders, and you've got... There you go. Wait, how did you do that? By moving your desk? Oh, my God. His desk is on a swivel. No, his camera's on a swivel.
Well, my things on my monitor. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Got
Actually,
Got
Cohh is just revolving the world around himself a little bit.
As I do the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
Yeah. That makes sense. Man, you are actually like, we're all giant in frame. I don't know what's going on here. Anyways, it's Sunday. We're still getting used to the new day, guys. Okay. It's weird. Cameras are weird. Green screen's weird. It's Sunday. And me and Cohh keep touching shoulders. I'm not.
Super strange.
Yeah, I'm not into it.
I cannot wait to be like, I swear every
dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like the shit behind you, you need to get in a different room. You're about to be taken by boxes in this.
Oh,
the
I'm
thing that I'm looking at.
in boxes. It's like a maze going out of this place.
Yeah.
Everything's on hold. My whole streaming life is on hold while this other place gets like finished up. So I'm very excited to get it all ready and done. And yeah.
What's the big delay right now? What's holding you back?
Right now they got about 2/3 of the main flooring in last Friday.
Okay.
And they have to finish getting the rest of the flooring in. We're waiting on the carpet for the main room, and I'm getting a special kind of green screen flooring for the VR room, which apparently is hard to get. And then they have to do the trim and the paint, and then they have to start putting in all the other stuff. So probably still going to be another.
You still got some time. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some time.
Sounds like construction. Yeah. I had my shelves. They've pushed now like 4 weeks back, or 4 weeks back 2 different times now. Cause they're just like, yeah, they keep messing it up. We keep getting the shelves and then they show up damaged and we just can't deliver them that way. So we're gonna have to delay. Sorry about that.
Which shelves are these? Because
they're like I should say drawer. Really, they're the drawers to the shelves at the bottom. They have to like special manufacture them or some shit from a different company, and they just keep messing them up. So seems like everyone in the construction world right now is just delayed. Ultimately, they just can't. There's not enough output for everyone. Gets stuck inside during the pandemic, right, and wants to change their house, so then they don't have the materials to actually change the house. So it's tough. But we'll see. We might be going into another lockdown maybe in 2022. So maybe it'll just get delayed even more. You never really know.
Yep.
You never really know.
The home's nice now, kids.
Yeah. You're going to be living in them for a while, it turns out. Go get your booster shot as well. Yes. Are you guys doing anything? Do you have any like pre-Christmas or pre-holidays celebrations? Any rituals that you guys do? We don't do anything here. We don't have any rituals yet. In this household.
Just got back from one. I actually took the morning stream off and went and hung out with my my parents. We loaded the 3 kids into the car and drove to North Carolina and did all that stuff. So that was fun.
Is that the holiday visit, or are you going back?
Yes, the holiday visit. My mom is actually flying out. I know, great timing, right? To see my half brother. So he was somewhere far away. So
gotcha.
I wanted to get some time and stuff in and everything. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
She thankfully just got her booster.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if they've been boosted.
Yeah, she just got her booster, so we're hoping that everything will be good.
Yeah, mask up, good to go. Zeke, what about you? Any holiday rituals you guys got going on this week?
Nah, not really. Once the people who would organize our family's stuff, once they passed,
nothing's happened.
I was free. Like I was absolutely free. I don't have to like go visit. I don't have to go to church. I don't got to do nothing. It's beautiful.
Oh, the church was always the worst. I would have to go to church on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
I guess is what it was. Yeah. That was always the worst.
Yep. I do miss my uncle used to, I don't know if he still has 1 or 2 of them, but he used to have a couple of vintage like 1950s buses. Like he restored them, like old buses that he restored.
Okay.
And they were pretty cool. And he cut the top off of one and made it like a soft top. So like it had like a vinyl covering on it. So you can unbutton it. and take it off. And we would, after church, our reward was we'd take his bus around, and we could stand on the seats and look at like Christmas lights.
Huh. So it was like
Yeah,
it was
take
like
the
one
whole
of those.
family around.
It was a bus tour
That's really cool.
with the Ezekiel the third family. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty. That beats mine going to church and then coming home and eating tamales every year. Not saying that was bad, but I'd like to go on a bus tour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my family has always been a give and take. It's like, hey, you get to go on this cool convertible bus ride and look at Christmas lights around town.
Yeah.
But you have to fucking sing carols. You have to fucking do the dashing through the snow, follow all of that. You
Now,
gotta do all of it, and they hand out books with music and words in it, like a chorus class. Like,
is there
your book
drinking
with Christmas
involved?
carols.
Were the adults drunk?
Some of the adults, yes.
See, I think I'm back on board then. I think I'm like
the drunks were drunk.
Yeah. That seems like it might be at least fun to just poke and laugh. Maybe the first time. I guess it depends on how many times you had to sit through that. But yeah,
I'm saying like I missed it. I missed the like we stopped doing it around the time I was old enough to drink.
Oh, you got gypped.
He stopped taking us around in the bus. So I didn't get a chance to like do it while I was, with a little bit of eggnog or, whatever spirits.
Yeah.
Shit. So I didn't get an opportunity to do that, which I'm very disappointed about, because it seemed like my aunt and uncle, who were functioning alcoholics, they had a great time every year.
Yeah.
They loved
it. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, when are we gonna go on the bus? This is the bus time. I'm gonna go on the back with the kids. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna sing it. La 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 la. Like, can't sit down. Sit down, can't.
That's probably amusing as a kid, but the older you get, it's probably just a little bit more depressing each year.
I always wondered why my dad would come home and just like
be upset.
He was exhausted. Like, just upset. Like, I'm sorry I had to see that. Sorry I had to see what? Well, I'm like, no, he's fun. What are you talking about? He's the best.
Those are the holidays that people could relate to right there.
Yeah.
It's the holiday spirit.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
now, no holiday traditions anymore. We're gonna have to make new ones, I guess. I don't know.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I've never liked it.
Or you go buy a bus, cut the top off, and you just pick up strangers.
Well, hey, we got that the Jeep Rubicon. It's a convertible. It's not a bus, but it's like maybe a quarter of a bus.
Yeah,
it could probably fit like 8 people in there.
Yeah,
on their feet.
That could work. Do that. Cohh, are you? What's the? He doesn't watch your streams. He's not old enough for that. What's the big gift here for the kid this year? What are you getting?
Oh yeah, I guess I can't talk about it. So for my older kid, he's getting like his first actual bike.
Oh, the first
like
bike.
Tiny bike. Yeah, and for Kai, he's getting this little tiny kind of motorized thing you can ride around on too. So they've got some.
Oh wow. It's going to be mobile co-kids this upcoming week. Yikes.
Mobility is here.
Yeah.
Rowan already has a little John Deere tractor that he zooms around in. So this will be the first like powered device, which will be good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Did you get all the pads, all the helmets, all that stuff too for the bike?
Yeah, he has to wear a helmet anytime he's moving.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I remember I got a bike for Christmas. Rode it once.
So
fell, never again.
We had a moment today.
The kids did?
We did. So we were all getting ready to go and visit the grandparents. And my wife went to take a shower and she left me with the kids. And so I was downstairs with our youngest, Asher, who is 3 months today.
Okay.
And Rowan and Kai went upstairs to mess around in the playroom. And about 10 minutes went by. And that's when I realized about 10 minutes later, because they usually just bumble around in there. They've got lots of toys, we've kid-proofed it and everything. And I realized that like, man, they've been really, really quiet. Asher was being really loud and everything. So I was like, I'm gonna go check. So I go upstairs and I go into their playroom and it is empty.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh, okay. So at that point, I go to I kind of look down the hall and I notice that a door that is supposed to be closed and has a really high up child lock on it happens to be open. The room that we keep their presents in.
Oh.
So at this point, I go over and sure enough, there's Rowan and Kai playing with their Christmas presents. And so the story here is that what my son Rowan did at 4 years old is he found out how to get through a child lock that is not only never gotten through before, but he had to use like multiple different tools to get through at the same time. So like
Nice.
he must have just sat there and played with it, and he had to like pull something back with something else, and then pop out another thing. And like I was mad, but I couldn't help being like a little impressed. I was like, kind of MacGyver this door,
Yeah.
dude. Like, okay. And he also had to get a chair to even do it because it was way up above where he normally stands. So
Jesus.
man, I tell you, yeah, I was stunned, but slightly bit impressed. So that was our big thing this morning. So we're hoping that Kai, the 2-year-old, doesn't remember too much of what they played with, but Rowan definitely had like a whole bunch of stuff that was supposed to be from Santa. We're gonna have to figure out here what to do with now.
Jesus. That's
Did
yeah.
he-
That's scary.
Did he say, is it a room that they're normally allowed in?
No, no, and it's like the first time he's ever gotten into it. We didn't like. I don't even know how he knew there was something in there to get, which is even stranger. So like, yeah, I don't know, man. His proficiency in lockpicking was much higher than I anticipated.
Yeah. That's an Owens 3 moment right there. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Have fun with that.
Witcher senses. Yeah. Absolutely did.
Yeah, that's spooky. Well, hopefully they don't. Are you getting a new lock? What's the lock situation?
Oh yeah,
plan?
yeah. We're gonna have to get a whole new lock and figure it out. But I mean, here's the thing: like me and Rowan have been doing this dance for like the past 3 months of getting a new type of child lock. He figures it out. Get a new child lock. He figures it out. Like he almost every child lock we've thrown at him, he finds out now within like a week. It's incredibly frustrating because he's like he's not old enough to like basically demand that he doesn't go in places because he's like 4, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he basically is smart enough to where he can get wherever he wants to, however he wants. It's gotten to the point where like the really important stuff we basically have to like padlock, like you know, like where we keep the chemicals and stuff like that. Like we have to like actually like chain it up basically so he can't get in. Like adults would not have a chance on getting in this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other really nice door lock we found for any parents out there is there's this type of door lock you can get that's basically like a slider, and you screw in a peg at the very top of the door frame, and then the slider goes over the door, so you can actually slide it back and forth. And when it's slid closed, he is not yet tall enough to be able to reach the very top of doors. So those have been the most effective. But pretty much anything else he has figured out in some way or another. Yeah, I very much recommend those door locks for the small kids.
The first thing that came to my mind was, I don't have kids, but I do have dogs, and there is a place in the yard that we're trying to discourage our dogs from going to because the fence, they might be able to like get through it, because it's kind of old and rotten or leaning or whatever. We got to get the fence replaced, but we looked up and we're like, okay, do you think this would work with Rowan? Like if you got like something that smells like a smell that he doesn't like?
You thought about that?
Like you put like chili powder on the knob or something?
Yep, we've thought about that, but the problem is you very quickly cross over the line to like abuse of children with that kind of stuff.
You're not gonna put like the bomb hot sauce on like a door.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, okay, put it to you this way.
Get a mace spray bottle for it when he opens the door.
It's just bear mace right in the face.
No, I'm saying like there was a closet in my house that I never opened because there was a cedar in there.
Huh.
And cedar has a very strong, I think it was cedar, has a very strong odor. And
what my dad would do is he'd hold the cedar up, and when I smelled it, he'd hit me. And then he'd hold it again, then he'd hit me like that.
Did the smell of cedar smell you scare you away? I just bumbled that sentence. That was a great sentence there.
I never opened that closet. Like I hated opening that closet. It was like it was just like our winter coats closet. like our storage closet or something like that. And I never liked opening it. Like if Dad asked me to go get something from the closet or whatever, I hated it because that smell, whatever that smell was, it was gross.
Dude, I have to say it's really interesting you say that, because one of the methods that we didn't try, but we heard of early, is that anywhere you don't want kids to go, put mothballs. Apparently the smell of mothballs is not something that's attracted to most children. So they said, like, if you have like under your sinks and stuff, put mothballs and they'll actually smell it and just not want to be near it. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Are we talking about pets?
Maybe-
Are we talking about humans? What are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about kids. That when we were looking
That's
around
wild to me.
yeah, like apparently kids, I don't know why, but apparently kids don't like the smell of mothballs.
It might
Oh,
have been
you tried,
mothballs, guys.
so.
It could have been in my childhood of mothballs, but why I said cedar or whatever is because I remember there being a chunk of like a tree, like it was like
A cedar
like,
block,
it was
yeah.
like an inch thick, and it had bark on it, and I think it might have had an engraving or something on it. But I remember it being in there, and maybe as a child I thought that was what produced the smell, but it could have been. It was like a sickly sweet smell. Is that what mothballs smell like? I don't know.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
mean, anything strong enough will not be very attractive. So yeah, mothballs just have. I think mothballs specifically are designed to like be really pungent and not good. Like the smell of mothballs has never been. I don't know if anyone likes the smell of mothballs.
Yeah, I don't actually know
Okay.
if I could recall what a mothball smells like.
A very unique, pungent, not good smell.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Anyway.
There we go. That's Drop Frame's Dad Edition. Buy some mothballs.
Buy some mothballs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, keep your kids and pets potentially out of places they
Zeke's,
shouldn't be. And Zeke's.
So Zeke comes over and you don't want him in any particular rooms. Just throw some cedar in there. And probably walk by.
Yeah. That'll do.
Yes,
That'll do it.
indeed.
I'm very particular about smells and sounds.
Let's get into some gaming news here at the top of the show. This one was fun. Cohh, I'm interested on your thoughts on this as well, since I think you're most related to the old STALKER. So on December the 15th at 10 a.m., they announced that they are creating the STALKER Metaverse, and they are going to allow NFTs or utilize NFTs that would, quote, have no influence on gameplay, be completely optional, and have free giveaways for the community members, and that all tokens needed to be activated before the release. That was December 15th at 10 a.m. December 16th at 5:16 p.m. Dear Stalkers, we hear you. Based on the feedback we received. There was another tweet that was deleted, though, I think. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I missed the in-between tweet.
Here's what happened. So first STALKER 2 announced that they were doing NFTs.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh. So, but here's the thing. Their initial implementation was a staged plan. And the very first thing they were going to do was horse armor style. It was very tame. What they were going to do was they were going to sell tokens, NFT tokens, and that people could buy them and then sell them and such. And then at a certain date, everyone was going to get their tokens claimed to become like scanned into the game and become people in the game. So basically what they were doing is using NFT technology. They were selling likenesses in the game. Okay. Obviously that implementation doesn't have anything to do with NFTs. They just wanted to have NFTs in their product. So that's where we were. So then, of course, negative reception, me being one of them. Then what they did was a couple days ago, they released this big wall of text.
I didn't see this. It got deleted.
Yes. So they released this big wall of text. They basically said, look, here's the deal. We are a small company and we want to use these NFTs because they're a new technology and we want to do it right. We want to give you guys a way to get into the game while using them. Yesterday, and then at one point, right there in the last paragraph, yesterday we announced the first tokens, the faces of several NPCs. They aren't even involved in the story, etc. And then they kind of talk about what they want to do. Basically, what they did was they said, here is what we've already announced we're going to use NFTs. Now here's what we're going to do with the NFTs. And they wanted to like totally just put it all out there. Like this was them saying, here's all of our cards. This is what we're going to do. very similar to the first time, except more so. The response was not good.
Yeah.
I actually put a reply on there as well, where I was like, "Look, guys, here's the point. Think what you want about NFTs, but the public view of NFTs is incredibly negative, and by putting them in your game, you are taking all of that public negativity on NFTs, and you are putting that on your shoulders. Like, it doesn't matter at all about your game at that point. By putting NFTs in your game, you are putting a bullseye on your head for all of this public negativity surrounding NFTs. Like, it is not a good idea. And I even say in the tweet, I was like, please consider removing NFTs from your game. Like, just take them out. I was one of many people that said that. There were a huge amount of replies. It even later in the day fostered, like I was pretty frustrated with it. I even later in the day put up a tweet where I basically said, like, basically what I just said, I was like, if you're a game dev and you put NFTs in your game, especially just like add them in, then you are basically not only defending them, but you are taking on the onus of all the publicly negative aspects of them into your game. Like, don't do it. You'll sink your IPs. It's just like look what happened with Deus Ex. It wasn't NFTs, but it was bad PR, sank the whole IP. Like, don't do that to your IPs. And then I actually followed up and I said, like, just so I'm not subtweeting, looking at you at Stalker the Game. Like, this is about you. And funny enough, 1 minute after I put that second tweet up, they deleted the tweet you just saw.
Yeah.
And put up the next tweet, which you probably have a picture of.
I do. That's why I was prepping when the intro decided to play.
We hear you. Based on the feedback we received, we've made the decision to cancel anything NFT related in Stalker 2. In the interest of our fans and players, we're the top priority for the team. We're making the game for you to enjoy, whatever the cost. If you care, we care too. And they removed all NFTs from Stalker.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Obviously, like, yeah, people are joking. Cohh save Stalker. I really didn't do anything. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were echoing.
Man,
this.
I wish when I did that shit, my chat was like, Cohh save Stalker.
I know. I thought it too. Like, no, okay. The timing was
hilarious. What kind of church are you running over there? Do you have like a goddamn cult going on? Do you have some Kool-Aid I can have?
I absolutely, after the show, I'll give it to you. Maybe I can convert you to church cult. But no, it's hilarious because I've been saying this every time it's come up. I've been saying this every time it comes up. I was one of literally, like, if you look through the replies, like thousands of people like were coming forward and being like, please don't do this. Like, please stop.
Yeah.
Please. They were basically saying literally exactly what I was.
Yeah.
The timing of mine was just hilarious. But that being said, yes, it's awesome they removed NFTs. Yes, it's awesome they listened. Yes, please keep in mind they tried to put NFTs, and the reason they didn't was because of the public backlash. So what this means is that, and here's the thing: I love Stalker 2. I want it to succeed. I want to fanboy it, but this is exactly what New World did. Where New World said, we're going to put all this cash shop stuff up, and then their community said, the you are. And then they said, oh, just kidding. We're not going to do any of that. And then everyone was like, oh, they listen. They're good guys. Well, they still tried it.
Yeah.
It's like they still tried it. So the good news, like basically, it's great they're listening, and it's awesome they did it. But at the same time, this is like a warning shot. It's like a shot across the bow. Be careful. Be cautious. Keep your eyes open for other stuff. Hopefully the game's going to be awesome. Hopefully it's going to be great. Hopefully this is a situation where they're like, yo, that was a bad decision. We're learning from it and moving forward. But it also means that you definitely have to pay attention and be like, let's make sure nothing else happens. Like, double check everything you hear from them. Let's make sure nothing else is kind of tried or slid under the radar. Like, let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. So I think it's great they listened. I'm thrilled that NFTs are not going to be in Stalker 2. And for the record, this is another thing that a lot of people, from this whole Stalker thing, a lot of people think that Cohh is anti-NFT, that I hate NFTs and they're terrible and everything's horrible. The NFT tech is actually kind of interesting. It's rife with corruption. There's a lot of scamming going on. And most importantly, this is the key thing for me. The reputation of NFTs is terrible.
Right.
And anyone that relies on a public reputation, like a game that's coming out, like, for them to chain themselves to NFTs at this point it's just a terrible idea. So the real reason I didn't want NFTs as STALKER is not because I'm hugely anti-NFT and they suck. I actually really hope one day NFTs work well for people and they don't have this terrible reputation they have now. But in its current implementation, like right now, the NFT community and all things associated with NFTs, unfortunately, are rife with issues, corruption, skullduggery. It's really nasty right now, and there's good reasons that people don't want them in their games.
Right.
So it's interesting because the NFT community has basically come down to 90% vocally wanting them to be removed from existence, and 10% of people trying to convince the other 90% that they are the future and should be used. And the thing is there's a middle ground somewhere. It may even involve the entire NFT tech being like reworked because there are like I had a viewer who sent me like this long list of links where basically he was just like NFTs are the devil and here's why they're inherently the devil, and it's kind of like a lot of those have some really good points in them, but at the same time like there's some really foundationally good ideas where they came from.
Right.
So they're just where they are now doesn't really, it's the principle of what makes those ideas good are not really in the implementation. So it's just not a good time for NFTs in games. Ubisoft, however, is doubling down.
They're doubling down on it. Before I do
Yeah.
want to state though, and want your clarification on it if you have such.
Yeah.
What they were doing with Stalker 2 didn't necessarily need NFT tech whatsoever, right?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Now what they were going
And
to
that's
do,
what people were confused.
the premise was that they were selling being in the game, and the NFTs would become the art that they were making for those people. So I mean,
Okay.
It technically it is following the implementation sort of, but it's not like they were going to be used outside of the game. So it was just no, they absolutely didn't need to use NFTs for that. It was very much seemingly them wanting to jump on the buzzwords. And like they said in the removed post, they wanted to show how it could be done right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They also talked about possibly like expanding the implementation out to other parts of the game later. So, it was not that great.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ubisoft, because like you said, they are straight up doubling down. There was a bunch of interesting quotes to come out of the Ubisoft NFT stuff. One of them being, I think it was a couple of devs on some like employee message boards were straight up saying like, yeah, we don't know why this NFT stuff is being pushed on us. We don't know why we're using it, etc. And that's never a good look. Like the devs themselves are like, we don't know, it's coming from up top. And then the CEO, Yves Guillemot, held a Q&A this week to
made
quote
some very bad comparisons.
Yeah, he tried to quote, according to Kotaku, try and reassure developers about the company's controversial new push behind NFTs. But ultimately, and Cohh, you might be able to expand on this, his answers were vague and leaned on buzzwords like Metaverse and Web 3.0, leaving some in the company disheartened by the latest PR disaster as before.
From everything that I heard from it, he basically was just trying to convince everyone it was a good idea using super high level comparisons that didn't really have a lot of direct translation between the two texts.
Right.
Like at one point, he was like comparing it to other technologies that took a long time to get started, but it's like all the texts he mentioned were nothing like NFTs or what they are, and they didn't mention like he really didn't talk much about the negative aspects at all. It's very much seems like it's the kind of thing where someone has made a decision, and instead of being open to new information, it's just going to be like, no, let me tell you why it's a good idea. Let me tell you why it's a good idea. No, this happened. I know it's hard, but it's the best way to go. So it's to have that kind of person be at the top of Ubisoft leading the charge is not a great sign.
Right. They said he also, sources said, he also frequently referenced Roblox, the obviously giant valued at like 45 billion, but that it wasn't clear to them which aspects of Roblox success would become more easily attainable through Quartz. Quartz is Ubisoft's NFT push, metaverse or whatever you want to call it. So it was just more, general nonsense where he just got up there and like, they're good. They're going to be great.
Yeah.
But with a French
accent. And the only kind of real big issue here that's going to be so big is like when a company like STALKER announces NFTs, they have a community that is really excited for their product. And when that one community backlashes, that's all they have really. Like,
right.
That's it. They're one product. And if that community rebels against them, Like that could sink their entire thing, which is one of the reasons they went back. But Ubisoft is a collection of so many different large IP communities now. And it's like, even if a huge majority of them were to rebel, quote unquote, against them, they'd still be just fine. So it's like, at the end of the day, like they're gonna do what they want to do. Like they're gonna push what they want to push. And it's one of those really unfortunate things, but like they're not going anywhere.
Right.
So I mean, if this is the course that he wants to take, it's the course they're gonna take. And I mean, they already, like, that video for Quartz went up and it had like 90% dislikes. It was like incredible.
Well, but the dislikes were
how many-
hidden, so no.
and all they did was take the video down, and apparently they're still going forward with everything. So it's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So let
I don't
me
know, man.
You brought up New World and did some comparisons when we were talking about Stalker with their like pay to win MTX push. How much of this, because I saw a lot of and read a lot of different comparisons this past week because of all this Ubisoft and Stalker stuff, that like NFTs are the new MTX, that they're just going to get continually pushed by these companies until it's just normalized in a lot of ways.
The thing with NFTs is that the people that want them to be used have a lot of money.
True.
And that's a real big problem for people that don't want them to be used.
And for people that don't have a lot of money.
Exactly. So the big issue with NFTs, and the reason that a lot of people say, like, and even NFT supporters are like, this is a word you're going to hear a lot from people that defend NFTs. It's inevitable. It's the future. It's coming if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And they're kind of right in a lot of ways. And I mean, this guy at Ubisoft is the perfect example. Like, he has a whole lot of financial incentive to do what he's doing, and not a lot of financial incentive not to, because he knows that people are just going to buy his shit anyway. So I mean, hell, let's be honest. Like, his audience is so large that even if there was a giant public backlash, most of them wouldn't even know what NFTs are. I mean, anytime NFTs are mentioned, almost every single time I see people go, "What's an NFT?" And it's like, if people are still asking that with as much stuff going on, like, it's just going to be a permanent thing. Like, the NFTs right now are so new, and they've come onto the scene so quickly that if you're not paying attention to the system, which a lot of people just simply don't have time in their lives to do, you're just not even going to know. I mean, I guarantee you, when the first Ubisoft products hit that are swamped with NFTs that everyone hates, I guarantee you a large percentage of the buyers won't even know what they are still at that point. They're just going to buy it anyway. Or it's their favorite franchise, and they're just going to reason away why they want that Assassin's Creed that's now full of NFTs, or Need for Speed, or whatever it is. So it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing, and it's going to be real interesting to see how like which of these implementations causes the biggest backlash and how the companies are going to respond to it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, we talk about like the predatory MTX market and the idea of like marketing it to children and whatnot. How do you market like an NFT to a child? And because, like, I know most adults don't know what NFTs are. Hell, I probably couldn't explain to you what an NFT is in great detail.
In a situation like that, it's like Roblox. Like, Roblox is used by a huge amount of the younger audience and the younger generation. So in a situation like Roblox, you just slide in an NFT implementation, and a lot of those kids probably will use it without even knowing they're using it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of thing where if it gets to the point where it's becoming more mainstream, they'll just start releasing them from foundational levels with NFTs implemented, and at that point, you may be using NFTs and you don't even know it.
It's true. Yeah, that's a good point. And they'll probably also they'll just obscure the idea that it is an NFT and name it something else, right? Like,
absolutely.
Ubisoft's already rebranded it as Quartz. It's probably going to be like, oh yeah, check out this new Quartz item, right? And that's going to be the code word that they try to push out there too. Because, like you said, the word
also,
NFT is so tainted now.
This is a really good time to mention this. NFTs are very new, they're very big, and they're very complex. If you are interested in all in NFTs, please do your own research on what they are, how they're implemented, what makes them horrible, what makes them good to the people that think they are. Like, there's a lot of resources for information on NFTs. None of us on this show are experts of it. It's also a very new technology. And also keep in mind that it is rife with corruption and people that are spreading misinformation about them. So find a trusted source. There's still a lot of them out there,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah.
And try to get all the information you can on NFTs. Please. Yeah, it's like therapy advice or medical advice. Like, make sure you go to the right people for this stuff.
Yeah, go to a doctor for medical advice. Go to a scammer for NFT advice. Who do you go to for NFT advice? I don't know who that would be.
I don't know.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot
weird
of
asking
rather-
about shady shit because the people who know about shady shit are shady motherfuckers. You know, like
Yeah,
how the fuck are you gonna get a straight answer out of anybody?
yeah. It's a real sticky situation, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've had people that I trust tell me that NFTs are the future. I've had people that I really look up to tell me that they are inherently a scam and nothing about them is good. And it's like when there's literally just complete polar opposites opinions all over the place on these. I will say that in my journeys, I have seen from more reputable sources people saying that they need to be avoided and should not be used. That's just a personal thing. In the circles I run in, NFTs seem to be a hugely negative thing. I do have people in my circles that say otherwise, but you know, it's a really interesting place to go. I think a lot of the people that like NFTs are very idealistic. I think that a lot of the people that really like NFTs that I've seen are thinking like 10, 20, 50 years on like where everything's going and how it could be awesome. And they don't really see the forest for the trees in a lot of ways. And with all the like really terrible stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like, that's growing pains. You know, it's just growing pains. And it's kind of like, yeah, but the growing pains are going to get bigger with everything else. You know, it's not like it's the good stuff's just going to blossom out of the bad and the bad's going to disappear. Like, the bad's going to keep getting bigger and bigger too. So it's a very complex thing.
It's true.
So do you guys
I'd say one day maybe we should bring on like an NFT specialist?
I mean, so Kevin Lin, co-founder of Twitch, has a NFT company and like is out there making a game right now with Gears Art, who's making part of the art for it. And so like, I know a bunch of people that are involved in that type of stuff. And for my interest and my relationship with Kevin over the past 10 years, he's always been a super stand-up guy. So I don't have any reason to think that he's like out there just scamming folks left and right.
Yeah.
But it's
another
it's
huge,
just weird.
A huge proponent of NFTs and that kind of stuff. Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
Mike Shinoda has his own NFTs. And that dude's awesome. He's been on the shows multiple times. The guy that runs YouTube Gaming.
Fwiz?
Huge NFT guy. Loves them. Like, it's weird. Like, there's good people that support NFTs. And that's where I come back to where it's like I wonder like how much is it like idealistic, this is what it could be kind of stuff. Like, coming from a good place, I want to move like us to the future kind of feeling.
Right.
Where a lot of other people are just looking around and they're like, but look what's happening right now. It's like the dog, you know, and it's like, you know, this is fine. Everything's kind of on fire with NFTs, but they're thinking about the future. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's really a lot of good places to get the best.
Yeah. Zeke, you were trying to jump in.
Yeah. So what do you guys see as like, if anything, it's feel free to say I don't know, but Cohh, you said that the technology and all that stuff is in and of itself is obviously not bad, but what positive things do you see like in the future that NFTs like technology can be used for?
The principle of NFTs is kind of cool, where it's like you can take a creation of somebody's and you can turn it into, and you can have a mechanism in which that person then owns like the rights to that creation. Like in principle, it can be great for artists and things like that. Where you know, like an artist makes something really cool and it's theirs, right? Like, again, we're talking like the base principles. But the second you start talking about implementation and like with the blockchain stuff and how that can be rife with corruption, when you start talking about how much energy it costs to like generate these things, like as soon as you start getting into the real world implementation of the principle, the more you go into that, the more you have all sorts of issues. And you get the human element of people like buying and selling them at hugely inflated prices just to create value to screw other people out of money. You know, like that happens all the time. So it's just like, it takes some really cool ideas, and then when you build it, it doesn't match the blueprint. in terms of intention and what it could be. There's
Yeah.
some really good ideas in there, but how they're expressed is not really at that same level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
for the record,
I mean,
I
for an
this is a-
analogy, if you'd like, it's like, you know, if someone is playing for the Yankees and used a baseball bat to hit a home run, that's a positive. But someone in New York who used a baseball bat to beat someone up for protection money, bad.
Sure. Yeah.
Same implement, but used for bad purposes.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
It does. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm making progress. I'm starting to make sense now. That's good. That's good.
I do want to say also that NFTs are hugely more complicated than what I'm saying and have a lot of other purposes and uses and issues.
Yeah.
That's just like as basic as it gets.
Yeah, and I'm the same way where I honestly, while I've heard nonstop about NFTs, I have not like actually sat down and tried to educate myself on them. So mostly right now it's just a giant meme for me, and I obviously know just like everyone else does, when you mention NFT, it immediately is like, that's how you spark a new conversation of hatred on the social medias today. It's just say like NFT. You just tweet NFT and it just goes to shit.
And that's why I don't want, and what you just said, that I don't even care about NFTs. That's why I don't want to see them in my favorite IPs.
Right.
Because
right.
if you take my favorite IP and NFT, then all that negativity and bullshit gets right on that IP. That's why I want them out of STALKER. I didn't even care about their implementation. I just didn't want to see them sink one of my favorite franchises with literally a hurricane of bad publicity, PR, and negativity.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing and what they did. So hopefully they separated it enough early to where, you know, I've already seen a lot of people say very positive things. Just like we were saying earlier, I've seen a lot of people be like, look, you tried to do it. And that's enough for me to unwish list this and not want to support it. So,
yep. Saw that.
We'll see.
We will. I think we'll definitely be talking about it a lot over the next year.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't the first case, but Zeke, where are you?
Ubi's going to make sure of that.
Yeah, Ubi will carry that conversation. Yeah.
It always seemed weird to me that like a digital piece of art is marked as is made an NFT. Like it can't be. There is one specific real copy of it, right? There's or edition of it. Whereas, I mean, like, it seems so weird to me because you can just like screenshot it, right? If someone they like show it off,
it's the receipt.
You know, like,
it's the receipt.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
It's basically being able to verify who actually owns it.
Right.
So it's kind of like you have an NFT of something and 10 people make shirts of that, you being one of them. Well, like at that point you could prove like that's my art because that is my thing. Because I made it or I bought that kind of stuff. Like you can, it's an actual paper trail back to a receipt. So it's, right. But it's kind of weird because a lot of people thought like there was the whole right click save as thing, which was like a big meme. Like, hey, look, I just got this awesome board yacht 8 club. Right click save. Hey, look, I got it too. And of course that's how it is. That's exactly how it is, right? That's how it is. Because again, there's no implementation for any type of enforcement of anything like that. Not that there ever would be, because there's no basis for it. But that's where the implementation comes in, and it gets a lot more complex. It's like, what does it mean doing that? Well, for the people that care about the receipts and stuff, maybe it has value to them. That's why there's entire marketplaces for this stuff now. So to some people, that stuff in their mind, just like Beanie Babies did back in the day, it has value because in their minds, it's like a value system. But for most of us, most
it's
people,
like owning the Mona Lisa and having a poster of it. Yeah,
it's all like, as somebody just said in my chat, Captain, it's speculative marketing. It's like this is worth this because the people that would pay for it say it is, and it can be proven through the mechanisms that they approve of. So it's literally creating money out of nothing by a group of people agreeing that it's worth that much.
Like money.
The problem happens when you trick somebody.
Right.
So what people do is they'll put up an NFT of a pixel art ape, and then they'll have their buddy or just them on an alt account buy it for $300,000. And then when real people go look on that market, they see that it's sold for $300,000. So in their mind, all of a sudden value is established because they're like, oh, somebody actually paid that much money for it. So then when that guy puts it back up for $100,000, they're like, oh, what a deal, and they go and buy it. And then all of a sudden that dude that originally bought it from himself is just like, what an like, and now I'm $100,000 richer over
That's right.
pixel art 8 I made.
Yeah. It's interesting. I heard and it goes to show my knowledge of NFTs, which I probably why I thought this was funny. But someone likened the whole NFT craze to when the internet first started blowing up, domain purchasing and like domain squatting. And so like sitting on like, Nike.com before Nike.com existed. So that Nike.com would have, or Nike would have to come to you to buy it, that type of shit. And I thought that was kind of an interesting parallel or correlation to look at, because that was definitely a thing back in the day, is people would sit there on, and people even today still sit on domains that they think may one day be profitable, and they just continue to buy them up. Which is why it's so hard to fucking name anything these days, because everyone has a domain already purchased for anything related. Really, it's impossible. So, yeah.
Well, I got a guy squatting on a domain I want. Trying to charge me 5 figures for it, and I'm like,
yep. When we were trying to buy back in the day, it doesn't matter anymore. We were trying to get like roleplay.com, and I think roleplay still is a Canadian toy manufacturer for toy cars that you can like ride in as a kid. And they weren't fully launched when we went to buy it or something like that. And so I messaged him, I was like, hey, how much, let's have a conversation. And we had a broker in between us go back and forth. And eventually it just got to the point where it's like what they were asking for was not worth what I was, willing to pay whatsoever. So I just had to like step aside, and I forgot what we ended up going with, maybe like Roll Dash Play or something. But
that happens a lot with video games and new titles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where they will come up with like a new title, and some guy will have that for their website, and they have to go through a whole thing. And the dude is like, well, I was going to sell this for 500, but now since you want it, that actually happened a bunch with Metaverse too.
Yeah.
When Facebook announced their Metaverse thing, like they went around and basically like strong armed with their army of lawyers that name out of so many people. And if the person said no, or they didn't agree with it, they'd like shut them down. Like it's a terrible, they're still doing some terrible stuff to some people.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
Indeed. Anyways, moving along with the news, CD Projekt, once again, back in the news. They have settled their lawsuit with the investors, paying out $1.85 million, which is literal pennies. Which is literal pennies. Because if you go back and talk about the release month and how much they made, it was over 563 million in game sales.
They probably paid more for the lawyers than they got in the settlement.
You're probably not wrong. Yeah, without a doubt.
If it was one person getting that might be all right. Like it might be.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were representing more than a few, but even then, they were, yeah. Like,
I figured,
like JP said, pennies, man.
Yeah,
pennies.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely. I don't. Maybe there's got to be more money exchanged on like the back end where we won't ever see. Like maybe it's stock or some shit like that we'll just never hear of. Because that just seems insane that they would accept a 1.85 million buyout, or not buyout, but yeah.
Settlement.
Yeah, settlement.
I bet they just price matched what the judge got.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. There's some interesting videogameschronicle.com has a story, and some of the quotes for it. According to the term sheet, members of the class, including the plaintiffs, shall relinquish any and all claims against the company and members of its management board, the statement reads. So they basically have agreed to shutting the fuck up about how bad Cyberpunk was managed, just from a 1.85 million payout. It expressly stated in the term sheet, the execution of the term sheet does not imply admission of any responsibility on part of the company or of any other defendants named in the case. Again, another like statement where it's just like, yeah, we didn't do anything wrong. You can't say that we did anything wrong. We're not paying you and admitting that we did anything wrong. We're paying you to shut the fuck up.
It's crazy, man. I like it. It's an everything's coming up CDPR situation. Like how it's very, very wild. Yeah. It's even wilder is they could probably point to this lawsuit in the future and be like, look,
precedent. Oh yeah,
we're good. Yeah, like look, it went through the courts. Everything's good. Like we're fine. Everything's good. It's wild, dude. It's wild. Makes me. I gotta admit, when I first heard it, there was a part of me that was like, was this thing all rigged from the beginning just so they could point at it like it's like I mean maybe it's like the brother of the CEO
Yeah.
like did the lawsuit like just so they can get it through the courts and establish it like it is wildly positive for CDPR.
It is.
It's kind of crazy. Their lawyers are on point. I'll say that. Like wow.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
Yeah, I will say somebody brought up a good point. Why are we upset about the investors in Cyberpunk losing money? I mean, it's not so much that, but again, the investors did push for it to get released, but they're not the ones I don't believe that like actually pulled the trigger, and most importantly, they're not the ones that did all that horribleness with, not releasing this console copies early and saying they were fine when they weren't. Like there was a lot of very deceptive, a lot of the meat which affected CDPR's reputation the most, had nothing to do with the investor. So
yeah,
you don't necessarily want them to get screwed in any way.
Yeah, it's like if I bought a random stock, and then a year later that company does something fucked up and stupid, and then they tank and I lose all the stock I bought in there. I'm an investor. Like that sucks, Like I didn't know they were gonna do that, like screw up so bad. They were a good company before.
Yeah, and like one of my mods just pointed out, which is a great point. We're never gonna know exactly what happened. Like that's never gonna happen ever. So yeah,
you are correct in that. Yeah. CD Projekt adjacent. Have either of you started Witcher Season 2 now that it's out there? I have not. I was waiting for the missus to get back.
Is it coming out episodically?
No, I think it's all out. I think it's already all.
Is it? Okay.
All out on the old Netflix. I think.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Season 2 is fully launched. Yeah. I wonder how much like.
Chat thing. I heard it's horrible. Really?
That's what I heard a lot of that too, but I don't know if that was like critically horrible or if because it was one of those things where that was what the buzz was going around was that it was bad, but everyone in my chat saying it was fine.
I thought it was amazing. It was amazing. It's great. It's good. Horrible. No, it's great. Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just short.
No, it's because the hate pushes you faster and more forcefully than love.
Yes.
If you hate something, you are way more willing to speak up about it first and loudest than if you love something.
Well, it also pushes the Twitter algorithm, so that's probably why I saw it. Yeah.
Somebody said some folks are mad it doesn't follow the exact the books. They change stuff from the book. That's immediately going to lead to some people being frustrated.
Yeah.
Does it follow the game though? That's what
it never did. It was never supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was always supposed to be.
So midway through the show, we decided, you know what? Screw the books. We're going to go the game route, and we just kind of redid our story a little bit, and we're going with the game. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't. We'll probably start watching it this week. So maybe next week I'll be able to report back on how it is.
Yeah, I was mad the first season. I was like, yeah, it's all right.
It was fine.
I wasn't super jacked to watch the second one.
It was one of those things where I was like, hey, it's a game that I played, and I will watch this thing. And I watched that thing, and that was a game that I played. And now I've watched the thing that also has a game and a book about that thing, and that's cool. Right? That was kind of my thoughts on it. So I'm interested in season 2 to see if they've improved it all. I also didn't, because it was book related and the stuff that was in season 1 necessarily wasn't in the game proper, apart from the characters and everything. I didn't have too much of it didn't have hooks in me. And so I'm curious if now that they're I think season 2 is based off of, or season 2 follows Ciri training at the Witcher Castle thing. That would be a little bit more of what I know somewhat based on the game. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I've not checked it out yet. What else we got?
Speaking of series, I finished Arcane, and
yeah,
that is a great series of entertainment. Like it is good all the way through, and I didn't need to know shit about League of Legends. It was awesome. It was very well done.
Yeah, It's very good.
Yeah, some of the best animated action sequences I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dope. It's really, really good. I went in with a sour, like League of Legends, and I came out going, this is good. I don't know what I was so so negative about.
I mean, League of Legends, what, like 10 plus years of just, oh yeah, don't play that game. The game's fucking
Yeah.
by people that play that game, say like, this fucking game's
Yeah.
horseshit. You don't want to get into this shit. Yeah. So they had to combat that, but I think that Arcane broke, like, I forget the article, but it was just insane. And the numbers of people that have watched that on Netflix, worldwide did very, very well.
Yeah.
So, and it's very good. So, and Cohh, you're watching it sometime soon, right? Whenever you
Yes.
get the TV set up, because I do want to have
hopefully
a Arcane conversation.
end of this year, early next year. Yeah, I've got lots of shows to watch. Castlevania, Arcane, Witcher 2, season 2. I've got many to do. So I'm gonna watch Cowboy Bebop. Just be sad a little bit.
I never did. I couldn't start, man. That the internet fucking went crazy on Cowboy Bebop.
Squid Game. I watched Squid Game.
Yeah,
I
have never watched
the
that.
live action Cowboy Bebop.
I
watched it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great.
Oof.
I thought it had style, and like it was different enough to be separate from the animated version of it, which I think it probably should, right? If you're
please direct all of your opinions
this has
on
always
this.
been my
Ezekiel
contention.
_I. I'm
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't give a fuck. It has always been my contention that if a band covers another band's song, that it should be similar but different enough to stand out.
Have their own.
And I thought this was that. I thought this was similar but different enough to stand out. I like the characters. I like the music and setting and all that shit. Didn't bother my ass at all.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch it eventually. I love Cowboy Bebop.
I'll watch it once, like, it's okay to voice an opinion on that's not unbelievably negative on Twitter. So probably about 6 months.
Canceled. That was unfortunate.
It did. Yeah. Season 2, the show's canceled. There's no season 2. So it's crazy.
How, just out of curiosity, how far did the show get in terms of the anime?
I have no idea. Chat. That's a chat question, I would assume.
There's only one main season of the anime.
I don't know how many episodes of the anime are, actually, now that I think about it.
About halfway.
Yeah, chat's saying half. Until they got Ed, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh,
yeah, I think, wasn't Ed like the post-show credit scene or some shit? Like, anyway, I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. What else do we got? Alan Wake 2 is confirmed as a third-person game. That game was announced at
third-person survival horror. Yeah,
at Game Awards as a survival horror game, and then Sam Lake went and confirmed that it is a third-person game. Very good stuff out of that. Mass Effect 5 is possibly going to run on Unreal Engine 5, as there was a BioWare jobs post, and they are hiring talented programmers with UE4/5 experience to come join the team and work with us on our next Mass Effect game.
Interesting.
UE5's pretty. I'll take a Mass Effect with that.
Very pretty.
Yeah. What did the old Mass Effects use their own engine? Was that like a BioWare? I forgot what engine that was.
I don't know.
It was okay. Andromeda used their own. Oh, Andromeda was Frostbite. Okay.
MEA was Frostbite.
Mass Effect uses Unreal Engine 3 as a groundwork.
Probably for 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just the wiki.
Yeah, that makes sense. Jumping back over to Ubisoft real quick, we forgot to mention they are working on a Splinter Cell remake. It was finally announced over at Ubisoft Toronto. So finally, after what, 4 E3s or 3 E3s, they finally announced they're making a Splinter Cell game, and it's a remake. So I guess they're going to try to reboot that franchise. I guess they couldn't take Sam Fisher anywhere else because he was just too fucking old in that game.
Pass the fucking torch. It's okay.
Yeah. Or
How about
they're just
Samantha Fisher? How about that? How about like a fucking nephew or a niece or something?
Yeah, I mean they could still do that. It could be Sam Fisher and it's a female main character. I don't know. Super early on, all they confirmed was that it's being made, or that it's launch development at Ubisoft Toronto.
Sorry, I just want a new game. I don't remake. Remakes are fine. I have nothing against remakes.
Yeah.
Just, if I had my druthers, I'd always opt for the new game.
Yeah.
With all new story and new missions, new everything.
Yeah. They could God of War it though, right? Like just call it Splinter Cell, and turns out it's a continuation of the main story, but it's just straight up called Splinter Cell.
That would be totally fine.
Yeah. But
Like
saying God of War, it is
Rocky
like
Balboa.
it's pretty hard. Like
that's a big bar.
that's a pretty big bar. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big bar.
Yeah. Tencent has acquired Turtle Rock Studios. This was another big bit of news this past
fully
week.
Acquired?
Huh?
Like fully acquired? They bought them?
Let's see how much.
Not like a stake?
I think they straight up just bought them.
Okay.
I don't think it was a percentage or anything. I think it was just a straight up purchase. Yeah, they have acquired Turtle Rock Studios parent company Slamfire Inc. The company's announced today, which was December 17th. So 2 days ago.
What was the last big Turtle Rock thing? That was
Back for Blood.
Blood? Yeah.
Yeah, still going forward. Still have season pass stuff. They're still pushing out stuff for that. So yeah, it doesn't really, they put out a press release, but it's pretty businessy. Doesn't really say anything. We're excited to work with each other, blah, 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 blah.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
I bet you're super excited.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tencent continues to buy every game company in existence. And that's kind of the, business as usual, I suppose.
It's really interesting.
Quick update I want on you guys.
Nope.
Did you guys get the helmets? You guys get the limited edition stuff ordered for Elden Ring or whatever?
Oh, no, I didn't. So I did not get it during when we were, when you guys were playing GTFO, I was trying to order a helmet.
So was Cohh.
Well, Cohh got it easy. He got through.
Okay.
I forgot. Oh, because you were able to make an account.
I was able to make an account.
Yeah.
That was the big hurdle.
And so I ended up not, because they took it down. They said, basically what happened is, just to give everyone the full story, Bandai Namco relaunched their brand new store on Thursday morning at I think noon or maybe 1 or 2 Eastern, something like that. And with the new store, they also launched the pre-orders for the collector's edition and the premium collector's edition of Elden Ring. We were playing GTFO at the time. It went off in my chat, and foolishly, I announced to however many people were watching all 3 of our streams at that time, which I'm sure everyone didn't help the situation of going to the Bandai Namco store.
I definitely regretted asking.
Yeah, you said that, and it came out of my mouth, and I was like, fuck. So yeah, they put up the thing, and because of they wiped all the old accounts. So first off, you had to go make a new account. Secondly, there was also an age gate that you could actually, the way to get past that, most people just blocked it with an ad blocker because it was just an element, and they just removed it from the webpage altogether because it wouldn't function. Like you would hit submit, and everyone just got hung up on it because it was essentially go back and tell the Bandai Namco side, and that connection was lagged, etc. So because of all the issues and because people weren't able to get them as easily as they would have liked, they actually took the premium collector's editions down, left the collector's editions up. And then later that night, they said that they would announce ahead of time. Later that night, I think at 8 Eastern on Thursday, they said, or no, it was 7 Eastern on Thursday. They said, hey, this is going to go live an hour from now if you guys want to try to get it. So I saw it and I said, okay, yeah, I had an account ready. I had an account ready. I had a notepad file with my credit card information in it for quick copy paste to get through the checkout. I've never seen a thing go that fast. And it's probably because I haven't been trying to get a PS5 for the past year and a half, but 30 seconds is probably too much, probably 15 seconds. Cause I was through the store in 15 seconds. It was gone. You couldn't buy it. From launching it to being sold out was probably 15 seconds at most. And that's probably even generous. So no, I did not end up getting it, Zeke, because it was sold out by most likely scalpers and bots, because they
I was
announced
gonna say I actually
an hour
bought
ahead of
10
time.
them, so I can give you give you one of mine.
You've got some. I see all the boxes behind you, so they're already there.
No, I wish I got more. But no, I think I got probably one of the last ones because you said
That
it was
morning.
sold. I think it was in my cart, and then like it was processing the payment, and you were like, "Oh, mine just sold out," and then mine went through, and I was just like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
I probably got one of the very tail end ones."
Yeah, I don't know how many they were selling. I don't know. Like they never talked about how many they were actually putting out.
My order number was under 800.
Damn. So maybe it was like
probably not a
1,000.
huge amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000, 10,000, something like that. But you'll probably see them pop up on eBay and all those third-party resellers here
They
over the next
always do.
couple of months. Yeah, I guess we're what, a little under 2 months from, or a little over 2 months from that being launched. Which
Speaking
is
of collectible memorabilia,
uh-oh.
So
Is this where you
yeah.
start launching us NFTs?
So I got this picture I wanted to show you. No. So this is kind of amazing. It's on the way here, and I'm trying to temper my excitement a bit.
Oh,
But
you
I just
told us
wanna give
about this.
I want to give a huge oh wait, did I I already talked about that?
I
Oh
think-
wait, I did.
Yeah, you mentioned it to us. I didn't know that you
Okay.
went through with it.
We're good. I don't know if I actually did it. Yeah, you know, I will talk about it more when it's actually here. I'm so nervous of it actually getting here. It's coming from like literally from the other
Well,
side of the planet.
You mentioned it to me and Zeke, but not publicly. So that's up to you if you want to
Oh,
mention
okay,
it publicly.
okay. Well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it then. So it turns out that when the original Space Marine came out, that they did like this like anyone who pre-ordered it was entered into this giveaway, and it turns out that after our previous adventure, when I made the comment about how much I absolutely loved the dude's giant real life replica chainsword that he brought on for the Space Marine 2 thing. Turns out one of the people that won the chainsword that came out 10 years ago contacted me and was like, "You saying you want to buy that sword?" And sure enough, we are. He has sent it to me. It is on the way, and I'm praying to God that it gets here in one piece. It's going through like 5 different countries. But yeah, it is. If it actually makes it here, it is definitely going to be like a centerpiece to my collection. I need to ask the guy if he's okay like saying his name. I don't want to say his name out loud or anything, but it was so super cool for him to reach out and he took pictures of it and everything. Like it was still in the box. He didn't actually even take it out of the box. So it's like, yeah, it's I'm very 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 excited. We'll see.
Yeah, I was trying to find the reason it sparked the conversation is because it was at the Game Awards in the interview afterwards. I'm trying to find an image of that.
How much was it? I got it for a steal, $515,000. So I felt like that. Oh, and shipping, of course. But yeah. No, the guy actually gave me like an awesome price on it. He was clearly not trying to make money. He was just like, "This is what it's probably worth. You get with this," and I was like, "Oh, absolutely." So yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it quick enough in terms of the actual image of it. You'll just show it off when you
Hopefully
get it.
I will be able to show you. Yes.
Yeah.
I very much hope to be able to do
Oh,
that.
also, I guess I should mention the Game Awards 2021 Drop Frames coverage is back online after being blocked by someone. I forgot who it was. Oh, it was UMG. The Imagine Dragons song that they performed live was blocked by the record label, and it was blocked worldwide. So it's back online. Thankfully.
As somebody said in chat for the cost of the sword, it's cool. I only need to send like 2 out of 3 kids to college. I mean, they'll that's fine, right? Last one can fight for it a little bit.
Yeah. Is there a blender going on?
That was, I think, a kid on something going. Wait, here comes.
Oh, was it a kid on a role play?
Okay.
You've got a madhouse there. You got sound dampening in your basement? You're going to have some soundproof.
Okay. I have floating drywall in the basement.
Oh, okay.
So like all of the drywall is there's a railing system, and the railing system has metal things that come out with a circular rubber disc in the middle. The drywall is put into the rubber disc, and that way there's no actual hard material between the walls, so sound doesn't go through.
Yeah.
Drywall carpeting, big soundproofing on all the walls, and like giant foam tiles for the I hope it works, man. These kids are really loud. I hope it works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the biggest thing, it's a basement, right?
It is, yeah.
If they're running around above you, that'll be
That's the
test.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of like vibration and stuff going through there. But art like when they did all the stuff, they said it should be like studio quality soundproofing, like in a sound booth, basically, like in this room when it's if there's no like
Yeah.
running around on top of me. So
have either of you ever been in like a fully like studio soundproof, like like professional movie grade studio stuff? It's bizarre. It's actually like not like a room. I'm saying like an actual big ass green screened. I went out to Sir Scoots' place in Phoenix when they're at a new place now, but they had like a giant, I don't know how big it was, 60 by 40 foot giant room. And it was soundproof to that level, Cohh. I didn't like it. It was weird.
Yeah.
You walk in and it's just like actually dead silent to where you can hear yourself breathe and where you can start to hear your heartbeat. I don't like it.
I have
me out.
really bad tinnitus. I always have sound going on around me. I sleep with like 2 sound soothers and a fan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had to do that for Cyberpunk. And I flew out to California and they put me in this like this weird metallic booth with like the windows were like that, and there was only one of them. And walking in there was it's right when the door closes, like all the world just disappears.
Yep.
Just absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It is very, very weird.
I hated it. There's anxiety.
It's so rare that you actually hear silence. It's so rare. You're almost always hearing something. So to hear nothing is like a new sound.
You guys ever been in a
isolation
sensory
chamber?
deprivation tank?
No, I've thought about doing it, but it depends. Like, there's multiple versions or multiple types. Like, there's one where you go in and it's complete darkness and it's like a chamber where they lock you in. And there's some where there's just a room. I could probably do a room. I don't think I could do like a chamber where it's got like a giant door that like locks in. That's like one of those spheres. I don't know if you've seen those, but
the one I went to was it was a bathtub. It was a bathtub shower combo kind of a thing.
Okay.
With like thick, soundproofing walls or whatever, and they put the water in the tub, and then they put the salt in there. So you're basically like they match your buoyancy, so you're floating. There's no sight, no sound. It's completely pitch black. You can't hear anything except your own whatever. And you're supposed to like stay in there for like 45 minutes. I think I got like 20, 25, and I just about lost my shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, I apparently I need that constant noise or I'm not comfortable.
Dude, I would think 99% of people in today's day and age with social media and just everything, like
constant stimulus.
Yeah. It's impossible to go in. You have to train yourself to actually like exist in a situation like that for sure.
2 things. First of all, when Zeke first started talking about it, for a minute I thought it was like a Montana anabolic chamber. I imagine like a shower with like mattresses duct taped in like a circle. And then the second thing that I have to ask, at what point or how many times did you fart and go?
So it's one of the first things I saw in chat, in both of your guys' chat.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
and then you farted, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't fart all the time, and I have the ability to take things seriously when I want to,
Yeah.
But so no, I didn't fart. And if I did, the water is so salty and like that. I doubt it would even like make a noise. It'd be like.
Yeah.
But no, I did not fart in the water.
Okay. Hard hitting news here. Zeke.
But also that would have been against the sensory deprivation too.
In the water.
Because you don't want any smells either.
Right. Yeah. They neutralize.
Would have ruined the whole experience for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Keep it neutral. Yeah. We're starting to sound like the Joe Rogan podcast from like 10 years ago, where he just talks about a sensory deprivation chamber nuts. You got to try it, guys. You got to you smoke, you just get a little high, you just get in there. Yeah. He owns one now. He always talks about he has one in his actual house. Yeah.
Oh God.
Or at least he did 10 years ago.
That's so funny because you know who injured who introduced me to those, who are not introduced me, but like he was like, yeah, I'm going to one. You want to come? I was like, sure. I've never done it. It's John Carnage, and I'm like,
that makes sense.
We're pretty similar people though. Like we're pretty loud, obnoxious, and in your face, and like, you know, do anything for a laugh kind of guys. And he just fucking loves those things.
That makes sense.
And I'll go bonkers.
Again, I think if you do it enough and you can actually like, in terms of like mindfulness, you can actually like go in there and stay in there for 40 to 50 minutes and not lose your shit. That's probably a pretty powerful tool to have just in everyday life, when it comes to the stress of living, to be able to like go there and go to that place mentally, probably pretty beneficial. But the first time you do it, it's got to be a nightmare, of epic proportions. Cause you're just always being, something is pinging you, or some noise is hitting you, or your phone's buzzing, or whatever.
I'd probably.
My brain can't shut up. It will not.
Yeah. Yep.
And especially if there's nothing else there, it's so much louder.
Yeah.
My worries become so much more worrisome.
It's true.
No.
That's how it goes.
Every awkward like moment you've had with a girl like fucking pops up and you're like, why now? Oh God, no, this is what the noise was drowning out.
Yep. That's how it happens. That's what goes on. But then you start getting comfortable with that and you can laugh at it. And that's good. That's healing.
Yeah.
It's a little therapeutic.
Healing.
Yeah. Last bit of news, not necessarily the biggest news, but the first ever video game award from the Hugo Awards, which is a pretty big science fiction and fantasy thing. It was their 79th event over the weekend, or last night, I guess. And Hades won the first ever Hugo Award for video games. So that game's still out there winning video game awards, or awards in general, I should say. Turns out it's still pretty good.
Make a DLC or a 2 or something. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Please don't just abandon Hades.
I don't think Supergiant is in the habit of doing sequels. I know that.
They
exactly.
aren't.
Do they do DLCs?
No, not really. I don't think they have ever. They definitely update. They don't need
to.
Yeah.
But fuck.
But
it'd be so nice.
Yeah. I went back and this past week I was watching a bunch of old E3 conferences, and in I think it was 2014 they announced Transistor, and I was like, holy shit! So like Hades wasn't even a thing in these people's minds yet, that it existed, and now I'm like wondering what their next game is even going to be. Like, how do you? They've reached a status now that very few game developers I think ever reach, and I really wonder where they go from here.
Oh man, it's gonna suck. You know, whatever it is, it's gonna just be terrible.
I mean,
they're gonna, like, you ever try to recapture the magic of something? Like, it ends badly every
I don't know
time.
if they'll try to though. They might just.
Well, that's exactly it. Like they really
capitalize
like
on
first
something. You know?
They
like,
did, and I may be out of order here, but I'm pretty sure first it was Bastion.
Yep.
And then it was Transistor, which is very different. Then it was Pyre.
Very different.
Out of those three, like Bastion was probably like the big one. Then it was Hades, and all of those are very, very different. Although, funny enough, they are all action indie RPG according to Steam. They do have a theme that they like to go down. But I mean, if anything is going to stay the same, they're probably going to try something completely new. It's probably going to be of like they haven't really done a deck builder yet. Maybe it'll be like their new take on a deck builder, or their new spin on more horror or something. Like who knows what they're going to do next, but it'll probably be like in the same vein, have the same. The only good big thing here is they have so many eyes on them.
Yeah.
So when they do try something new, like I hope that it will mean just, they have that much more of a chance of having it be like a success. But yeah, man, I do hope they make another Hades. The Hades 2. I would just.
Ooh, a battle royale. Oh yeah.
I think at this point, no matter what type of game, even if no, I was gonna say, even if they come out and say that they're gonna be using NFT blockchain technology, I don't think they would. But that might be the one that gets me to put it down. Now, what if
following the CDPR playbook of how quickly can we sync the public image of our company?
That's right. Yeah. I'd actually be into owning the what's it called?
NFT VR card game.
God, the character art. they have a pretty good character artist. I bet you they could make some pretty cool NFTs with that.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for the news. I think we're due for a break. That timed out pretty well. And then we'll come back and talk video games. I know you guys both been playing a bunch of different stuff. Cohh's got Warframe, Monkey Island. We'll talk some Final Fantasy, see where you're at with that. Zeke, you've been playing, I'm sure, a bunch of indies, but you've also got a couple of mainstays there on the channel for the past week. And I got to take this dog out. He's very angry with me. He's sitting here just staring at me with those dead eyes. So I'm going to do that. We'll come back. We'll circle back. Your dog doesn't do that, Cohh? He doesn't just stare at you when he needs to go out and tilt his head? Yeah. That's what kids do. That's what I'm getting right now.
When they need to go outside.
They need to go out. All right. Yes. Okay.
Dad, I can't. The knob is covered with chili powder, Dad. Let me outside.
Get back to your computer and keep farming me gold, son.
Honey, get the bear
Don't
mace.
touch
The
your
kids
eyes.
trying to get in the room. All right, we're out. We'll be right back with more drop frames right after this. We'll see you then.